A man with a fake badge was prying open my garage door. He had no idea the person waiting inside was the one he'd be begging for mercy. I stood in the silence at the rear of the space, listening to the metallic groan of the side door being forced. No knock, no announcement, just the confident grating sound of someone who believed they were above the law. That belief was about to end his freedom. To understand why a stranger thought he could break into a sheriff's home, you need the backstory. My name is Marcus Holt. I'm a county sheriff, and I didn't choose this house for the view. Our jurisdiction had seen a troubling rise in coordinated burglaries, professional, fast, testing police response. This neighborhood was a potential target zone. I moved in quietly, no cruiser in the drive, no uniform on the line. I wanted to observe, to see how people acted when they thought real authority wasn't watching. That's when Lydia Vance noticed me, the newly minted HOA president. Clipboard perpetually in hand, a smile that never touched her cold eyes. She introduced herself within days, probing with questions that were none of her concern. My work, my odd hours, why my garage was always shut. A month later, she unveiled her new rule at a community meeting. For security and transparency, she declared, all garage doors must remain open during daylight hours. Residents shifted nervously, but most complied. Some were fearful, others were just avoyant. I wasn't. I stood. "Show me the bylaw that grants you that authority," I asked, my voice calm. I explained that mandating open garages invaded privacy, violated state law, and ironically invited the very crime she claimed to prevent. The room fell silent. Lydia didn't debate. She just wrote my name down. After that, the harassment began. Failure to comply, suspicious activity, security risk. She accused me of hiding something, told neighbors my closed door was non-cooperative. Every citation was fabricated, every threat baseless, until they became something more. Last Tuesday, I came home early. The side gate latch was bent, the garage light was on, and now, listening to the heavy bootstep of a man in a polyester HOA enforcement vest enter my space, I understood Lydia's escalation. If I wouldn't open my garage, she'd have it opened for me. The intruder took another step into the gloom. That's when I spoke. "Don't move." He froze, because the last thing he expected was the homeowner waiting in the dark, and he had no clue who that homeowner was. The moment I stepped from the shadows, I drew my service weapon. One fluid motion, no trimmer, no hesitation. I brought it up, arms locked, sights aligned on center mass. Hands in the air, now. The fake enforcer whirled around, nearly stumbling. His eyes bulged at the sight of the gun. Real terror, not the borrowed bravado he'd entered with. Whoa, hey, you can't do that. I'm with the HOA. I didn't lower the barrel. You forced entry into my home. You are trespassing in an occupied dwelling. Move an inch and this ends very badly for you. He gulped, his chest heaving. He glanced at the door, then back at the unwavering muzzle, doing mental math with all wrong answers. "Lydia authorized this," he blurted. "We're inspecting for compliance." "No," I replied, my tone flat. "You are not." I stepped closer, the gun never wavering. "You conducted a warrantless search. You impersonated an officer. You broke into private property." His voice cracked. "Sir, please, this is just HOA business." I almost smiled. HOAs don't get to pick locks, and they definitely don't break and enter. That's when I saw it, the collapse. His shoulders sagged, the facade drained away, leaving raw panic. "You don't look like a criminal," he muttered weakly. "Why are you hiding?" I didn't answer. With my left hand, I reached slowly into my jacket pocket, never breaking my aim. I pulled out my badge. The gold shield caught the dim light. Sheriff's Department. His face went ghost white. Oh man, I didn't know." "I know, that's the entire point." I keyed the mic on my shoulder radio. Dispatch, I need units at my residence. Burglary in progress. Suspect detained. Charge will include impersonation. The acknowledgement crackled back instantly. Outside, I heard frantic movements, then a shrill voice. Lydia's heels clicked rapidly on the concrete. "What is happening in there? You weren't supposed to—" She stopped dead in the doorway, seeing the gun, the badge, her hired man trembling with his hands up. This is a misunderstanding," she stammered. "We were enforcing community rules." "Save it," I said. "You can explain it to the deputies." Red and blue lights strobed across the garage walls as patrol cars arrived. Then more. Lydia backed up, her mouth opening and closing silently. The fake cop finally understood the depth of his mistake. And as real officers swarmed my property, weapons ready, one truth became undeniable. Lydia's petty power trip had just triggered a felony investigation. This was only the beginning. If you're hooked on this showdown, make sure you're subscribed to Trending Tales Pulse. The legal fallout is where the real satisfaction lies. The deputies moved with controlled efficiency. 2 officers secured the entrance. "On your knees, hands where we can see him." The imposter dropped immediately, palms slapping the concrete. He was cuffed in seconds. Another deputy documented the scene, the pry bar on the floor, the splintered door jamb, the laughable costume vest. Lydia tried to speak again. She couldn't help herself. "You're overreacting. The board voted on this. We have authority." A deputy turned to her, his voice devoid of emotion. "Ma'am, be quiet. You're not in charge here." That's when it truly hit her. Her clipboard kingdom ended at the border of criminal law. I holstered my weapon and provided my credentials. Standard protocol, even for the sheriff who made the call. The lead deputy gave a curt, professional nod. Within an hour, the story unraveled. The man confessed Lydia had hired him, paid in cash, told him the open garage rule gave him the right of entry. Every word was captured on body camera. Lydia's face, once smug, was now ashen as she realized this wasn't an HOA hearing. This was an evidence lockup. By morning, the charges were formal. The fake enforcer was booked on felony burglary of an occupied dwelling, criminal trespass, impersonating a peace officer, and conspiracy. His prior record got him denied bail. Lydia got no deal. 2 days later, detectives executed a search warrant on her home. They discovered emails directing enforcement actions, financial records showing cash payouts labeled security services, and draft notices threatening residents with compulsory inspections. It was more than enough. Within a week, Lydia Vance was charged with conspiracy to commit burglary, solicitation of criminal trespass, abuse of power, and civil rights violations. Her own board voted her out unanimously before her arraignment. 6 months later, sentencing. The fake cop took a plea deal, 5 years in state prison, substantial fines, and a lifetime ban from any security work. Lydia got no deal. The judge had no patience for using community standards as a shield for felonies. She was sentenced to 18 years in prison, massive financial penalties, permanent exclusion from any association leadership, and personal liability for every resident she intimidated. As for the neighborhood, the garage rule was erased. The bylaws were rewritten under county supervision. Suddenly, everyone remembered the meaning of private property. I still keep my garage closed, not to hide, but because some boundaries are meant to be absolute.